What does organic marketing mean? Quite simply, it means free marketing. So when you think of social media, such as LinkedIn here, I don't use the paid program. I use the free one through LinkedIn. And all of the connections that I have, all 12,000 of them, came to me for free. Well, they all didn't come to me. I had to go to them as well. And when they go to my website, that happens for free. I don't need to pay in order to make that happen. So, regardless of the social media site, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, as long as you're not using a pay per click type of program where you're paying to get the connections, the followers, the people going through to your website, for instance. If it's all happening for free, that is organic marketing in a nutshell. Where can I find students online? Well, there's so many different places, and it's really hard to know where to get started. I really believe in the 80-20 rule. You want to spend 80% of your time, your energy on the 20% of websites, apps that are really going to get the job done for you. Okay, you can always trust the big boys, the big girls when it comes to this game, such as LinkedIn. I'm on there right now as well. Twitter, which has been going through changes, but it's still one of the big ones. Okay. I use this for another company of mine, and it's getting the job done quite well. Of course, I also use Facebook, right? There's apps as well, such as TikTok. All right. There's many different probable solutions. You can never go wrong, though, by joining LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm sure you already have a Facebook account. If you don't, you definitely want to get one. A Facebook page, a Facebook group is definitely a necessity these days. Reddit is another avenue. There's more, there's apps besides TikTok. If you target given nationalities in Asia, well, they have their popular apps, websites. You can join those as well. However, I really believe now that most teachers can get the job done with LinkedIn, all right, and knowing where to find the right people, your target market, as well as Facebook. Because you're building a small company here. And once you get your first influx of clients, then you're most likely going to have a few or even just one that starts to work for your company in such a way and referring you people. Many more referrals will probably come in. You'll be working a referral program, you'll gain more. You may start a pay-per-click campaign, which we're going to come to a little later in this video talking about that method of marketing. But stick with the ones that you know will work for you. Put your most time into them. And if new ones come along, sure, give them a shot. But there's a much greater chance that you're not going to pull any prospects from them. What websites and apps are best to advertise on? Okay, well, you definitely want to be on the big ones. And I've mentioned this earlier in the video. Facebook, LinkedIn for sure. Perhaps even Twitter, Instagram, maybe even Pinterest. Okay. There's many out there, but the most popular websites you definitely want to be on. Okay. TikTok is really doing well right now, and you may be an ideal type of teacher for that. TikTok is more about the performance, entertainment, um, dynamics, dramatic. You've probably been on TikTok, I'm not sure. You want to think about your target market. Okay, who are you targeting? If you're targeting business professionals, okay, those who are gearing up for an important job interview and their mother tongue isn't English, and they're looking for help, coaching, teaching, they need to improve their English, in efforts to pass the interview, perhaps to communicate better with the interviewer. Maybe they want to get ready to do presentations in the boardroom and they don't feel confident enough because of their English that they don't consider to be that good. Well, LinkedIn is a great place to go to meet those types of people. And there's people in China on LinkedIn, professionals, South Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, all over the world, really. You can't go wrong with LinkedIn. I wouldn't advise, for instance, if you are targeting business professionals, those types of people, IELTS, to go on TikTok. It just doesn't really make sense. If you're not targeting those who are in the mainland of China or, Chinese who are outside of the mainland, then why would you use Sina Weibo, right? You wouldn't use any of the Chinese websites and apps, I'm pretty sure. So it really helps to use your common sense when it comes to this. Like, definitely join LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, give that a shot. Give it a try. Twitter, right? You can't go wrong. And then at least you've tried it. However, when you give it a try, you really want to put good effort into it and get the know-how needed to work these social media sites effectively. And of course, this is why I'm in business as a coach, to warp people ahead so it doesn't take them as long to get the hang of things and to develop a really smart marketing strategy for this type of thing, organic marketing. But there's no real gems out there, like for instance, a Facebook group that's going to have 100% of your target market members inside. You know, you have to pick through it. You have to find these people, and some will find you, but most of the time you have to go to the business, right? On Facebook, for instance, find those groups, communicate with the group, perhaps in comments, include the link to your group. They come through, hopefully more the right type of people. You can even direct message, works well for me on LinkedIn, those who are connected with you. And that's another great way to get prospects coming to your front door, the entrance of your sales funnel. So it's not just about where to go to find these people, but it's how you communicate and how often you communicate in a well done manner. But once again, you can't go wrong with the big boys and girls: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, most likely, Twitter. You can't go wrong. Okay, you got to give those a shot, but don't spread yourself too thin and try out too many different sites and apps, like 20, 30, because you only have so much time during the day when you're going to be doing social media marketing. It would drive you nuts if you had to do it for 5 hours a day. In the beginning, you won't have to do it. You'll have to do it a little bit longer, and your time will quicken as you go, right? As you go through this daily marketing ritual again and again, which is so important because it's evergreen, it's organic marketing. That's how you're going to get that free traffic, a larger and larger following of the right people, so you can get more and more demos booked, consultations booked, clients, right? Customers, whatever you want to call them, students coming in. Um, so there's no magic bullet. Give the big ones a shot. There's always going to be new ones coming along. But sometimes it's best just to have other people try them first and see how it works for others. You're going to hear a bit of commotion about a social media site such as TikTok, well, it's more of an app. If it's working well for teachers, if you join these, going solo related groups on Facebook, for instance, they're on Reddit too, I believe. You're going to hear some commotion if teachers are pulling prospects from new apps. They did the testing for you, and then you can jump into the water early enough and you can learn how to work it in such a way so that it can work really well for you as well. I hope that makes sense. How can I send people to my website? Okay, well, down the line, when it comes to organic marketing, what you want is just so many ways for people to find you on the internet and to click through to one destination. We call that your squeeze page. This is the page that's going to convert the most visitors into prospects for your small company. Okay? This is really important. If you just have one link somewhere on the internet and it's possible for a member of your target market to see it, odds are that person is never going to click it. So, this is why I believe it's so important not to work like 10 social media sites, apps. Instead, try out 5, 6 in the beginning, perhaps, and then drop a few that aren't working well enough for you. And I bet LinkedIn and Facebook, probably Instagram, will be there in the end as your top three. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe a different one, but Facebook and LinkedIn, most likely. How do they get to your websites? Well, you put a link in your description, and most social media sites and apps allow it to be a hyperlink because you don't want people to have to copy a URL and then paste it into the address bar of their browser in order to access your website. You just want them to go through and click. So it's important to have posts that are compelling enough, right? Not too repetitive. So people are actually interested enough, and not just any old person. You want members of your target market because this is who stands the greatest chance of buying from you. You don't just want anybody clicking through. Your post should speak directly to members of your target market, just like your squeeze page does, the promotional video on your squeeze page. This is so important. All right, that needs to run smooth all the way through. So you have a call to action within your post. For instance, this is one of my smaller posts. So go here to watch TKC in class. That's my teaching persona, Teacher Kid Canada. And they can very easily click the link to the squeeze page. Don't forget to put the link in there. All right. Now, of course, you can have some hashtags, not too many. There's an ideal amount for each social media site and app. But you have to gain interest. People need to be engaged. That's so important. All right. And it needs to speak to your target market member. And then all they do is they click a link, and that takes them through to your squeeze page. And you can even have them go through, not to the top, but further down your squeeze page by putting in an anchor. This way you can go, they can go exactly where you want them to go on the one page. So there's all sorts of little tricks. But this is where I want everyone to go for that division of my company that's targeting the parents, Asian parents of younger learners. I want them to go to my squeeze page that has the promotional videos, the all-important booking calendar, and more information as well. Call to action, sense of urgency, all that jazz. So yes, they click a link, and no, you shouldn't have too many links, right? Only one link because there's one main thing that you need people to do. And don't forget to put the links into your posts. That's so important. And don't think that you need to have different posts for every social media site and app. That's not the case. You can have the same post with a few little differences, for instance, hashtags in each account. Videos should normally be very short. Vines are cool, right? They can be quite effective. Um, but if you have a longer video, right, the social media sites such as Instagram may only allow up to 1 minute of footage. So you may have to create a second video that's shorter, or just cut that longer one for use on Instagram. But generally, you should go with quite short videos. I prefer under 1 minute. And yeah, people just click through the links in the videos. And after a while, when you're posting regularly, it's all compelling content. More and more is going out there and entering feeds, and you're getting more and more followers who fit the bill in terms of who you're looking for and who you want to attract to your promotion. And you get more and more clicks and more visitors and more demo classes being booked. And because you have high quality demos, consultations, your conversion rate continues to grow, right? You're closing 3 out of every 5 deals, 3 out of every 5 that you meet with, right? 3 new deals, out of the 5, things keep getting better, and you just have to keep that machine well oiled and keep going with it. But yeah, it's all about the links. It's all about the links, and that's how people go through from social media to your website. And it really is all about social media. Um, it's very, very difficult, time consuming. It takes a lot of know how in order to do SEO right, which is search engine optimization. The Google algorithms are far more advanced now, and it's all about Google when it comes to that. Even though there's YouTube, which is the second most popular search engine in the world, and you can also play YouTube. Don't forget about that. But the chances of you getting your squeeze page ranked in the top 10 for a semi-popular listing even on Google is just highly remote. You're not going to get your traffic that way. So put your love and attention, your time, your energy into social media, the top social media sites that are really going to get the job done well for you so you can build that small company, and then from there work off referral as well to pump it up even more. Yeah, the power of links. What is the winning mindset of the teacherpreneur in this regard, and what have they done? Well, here's teacher Cole of the TCEC teaching team. She's the boss, and this is one of her social media accounts. It's her group, and she's done an absolutely amazing job, not just in terms of post quality, all right? And posts, the images you use don't always have to be your own. Okay, you can borrow from other sources because you're going to have moments when you're too busy. Maybe you didn't have time on the weekend to create a few new videos for posting purposes. And this is really great content that you'd like shared with your following of target market members. Then go right ahead. Remember, posting needs to be very regular, and she's done that. And as well, she includes links to her all important squeeze page. All right. That's so important. So people can see the post that's interesting for them. Okay. They can learn from it. She has a reading time as well, where, well, it's called story time, and then people can interact, right, through comments. She includes a little information about her promotion. She ties that in with the squeeze page of her site, right? And now she's got a lot of these links spread throughout the top social media sites and apps. So she's really, really gone for it because she understands that it's organic marketing, it's free. Anybody who comes through to the squeeze page of your site, you are getting for free. Any prospects that you get, close to zero acquisition costs. Well, besides your web domain and hosting fee, which really isn't much at all. But, in terms of generating those prospects, yeah, zilch, zero dinero. So she also does pay per click, right? And she does that through Facebook ads. And that's important for page likes and getting the right people into her group, which warms them up for the demo classes that her and her teachers put on. But you can scroll down through her group and her other accounts, and you're going to see a lot of content. And content is queen or king. Remember that. It needs to be good enough. You can't just throw anything up there. You really have to take the best interest of your target market at heart. Is this something that's going to, entice them to want to go through to your website where they can see your promotional video and have a chance of booking a demo class with your company, whether it's free or paid? Is this something they're really going to want to do? You can't just post once a week and say, okay, well, I didn't get the results I was looking for. Well, if it's a Facebook group, how many members do you have? Well, Teacher Cole, how's she doing here? She has, click on members and we'll find out. Let's have a look. Well, about 1,148 members, right? And quality is super important. So most of the members, I'm sure, consist of her target market, right? Those types of people, right? Stands a much better chance of buying from her. She's consistent in terms of posting, which is really important. So those posts enter the group feed, right? And her members have a good chance of seeing those posts and getting back into the group, right? Oh, yeah. This week I was thinking about hiring an online English teacher for my son. And I know her the best. She's, like I always see her posts. Well, let's contact her company. Let's find out more finally, right? You want to be the teacher that is most diligent when it comes to keeping in touch with people, with your target market. You want to be that teacher. Most people, they will look at your profile when they're deciding if they want to accept your friendship request, your connection request, right? And then they don't think about you again. You have to post in order to put something of your own or somebody else's that you're sharing that's coming from you in their feed. So they have a chance of going back to your group, of visiting your profile on LinkedIn, whatever social media account, and then going through to your squeeze page. Because remember, if it's not today, it may be tomorrow. And it may not be for their kid, but somebody who they know and care about who has a kid. I'm using kids, could be an adult, right? A preteen that's thinking about hiring a teacher. And they know you are the right type of teacher, judging by, your posts. So yeah, you got to be regular with the posts. Nicole has been doing this flawlessly. She doesn't forget to leave the call to action, ties it in nicely to her squeeze page, a perfect lead in normally with her. People can go through, just like I am right now, to her squeeze page where they can book with her after they learn more. So, she's done a really good job. And this is what you need to do as well. Once your sales funnel's all set up, from there, you just need to test it out and optimize it, tweak it here and there so that conversions can, become even better. But you need to post the right stuff regularly to your accounts, virtually the same post to each account. Include that one link to your squeeze page so people have somewhere to go when they're interested in learning more. And then it's just about repetition. It's about day in and day out. And it's worth it because running a pay-per-click campaign alone where people come from, say, Google straight to your website through Google Ads, it gets expensive. And the chances that you're actually going to make a return on investment is nil. And that's just the cold hard truth coming at you there. Pay-per-click campaigns should be more complementary. Organic marketing is what it's all about. Social media, you need to be consistent. And once you have a schedule in place, knowing that you don't have to create all the content yourself, maybe just doing 1, 2, 3 videos a week. That's all. And they're short videos, right? You can just record a whole bunch on the weekend and then you can cut them up and organize them and get them ready for posting at the right times and days during the week. Once you get that schedule down and you get into the habit of doing it, that's the real trick here. And you're not forgetting to put that link to your squeeze page. Magic happens, especially when you are working to build your following, and then more people come to you without you having to go to people. And you might even get to that stage, the stage where I'm at, really, with my Facebook group, where we're really close to 17K now at this time. And I don't have to go into other groups, offering some value in comments, putting the link to my group. We call it link dropping in comments. I've saved myself from doing that now because other people are coming from elsewhere, hearing about me and my group and what we do, because it's a hub. It's one of the best Go Solo for Teachers group, if not the best, on Facebook at this time. So as you get better and you have more and more valuable content, it does get easier. And Nicole's learning that because she even has some tiger moms, we call them, who are working like a spokesperson for her company, bringing people to her. Then she doesn't even need to pay them to do that. She just, might give them a little, free class here and there. But after a while, people talk. I get referrals from Reddit, from WhatsApp groups. I get referrals from TEFL organizations like Premier, this Ireland one, a whole bunch of them actually now. Friends of friends in the group, family. So it does get easier. And yes, it's hard to get into the habit, but once you're in the habit of creating the posts, posting, not forgetting to leave that all important link to your squeeze page, it really does get easier. And then from there, it gets even easier. You just have to get started and do things right away to get the best results possible. So you're encouraged because results are encouraging. If you're not doing all the right things and making a bunch of blunders when you don't need to, you're going to get fed up. You're going to say, hell with it. So don't be one of those people. I'm sure you won't. And, follow the lead of even Teacher Cole here. Have a look at her group, Teacher Cole's English Corner, and you will see totally what I mean. Great job, Teacher Cole. Always applauding you. And also a great job to some other teaching, coaching proteges of mine who are also doing well when it comes to this organic marketing and traffic generation. Without the organic marketing, right, there is no traffic coming to your site to speak of. Okay? Remember that. All right. Hope that helps.